Well, shooters and reloaders and all of you 3 Circles passengers and members, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone. And you know we did the desktop tabletop review on the UTG 2 to 7 power handgun scope. And it's got good specs, and as you saw from the view through the scope itself, it's got a nice image and clear reticle and very useful reticle. And at the range, we're going to go ahead and test this scope today on our 44 Magnum Super Blackhawk and see how well this scope holds up and how it performs at the range. Now, the featured load for the 44 Magnum that we're using to test the UTG scope is the reload of the 200 grain Hornady XTP bullet that stands for Extreme Terminal Performance, and it's backed by 22.1 grains of accurate number 9 powder, and we know that it gives 1,530 feet per second out of the Super Blackhawk, and it shoots well with iron sights in the Super Blackhawk. So now let's see how it shoots with the UTG 2 to 7 power scope. Let's go ahead and do that. Off to the range we go. Okay, so we're shooting our Ruger Super Blackhawk now with the cast. It's the Lee 240 grain tumble lube cast bullet. So let's get that zero, get that scope on target here. Just shooting at 12.5 yards. We're getting a feel for this scope. Put 4 real close together and 1 thrown away from the 4-shot group. That's not bad for a cast bullet load. Just shooting at 12.5 yards. Getting a feel for this scope. So now we're shooting the 200 grain Hornady XTP and 22.1. That's 22.1 grains of number 9. So this one should be fairly stout. This should be fairly stout ammo here. There we go. Well, those two went in the same hole. Those 3 went in the same hole. It's kind of hard on the rest. We have to reacquire the rest. I get it neutral. Here we go. Those 4 went in the same hole. Those 5 went in the same hole. So this just goes to show what we can do with a telescopic sight. We can still handle the trigger, but the eyes just don't make it anymore. Okay, so now we're shooting at 25 yards. Okay, see what we got. This should hit high. Okay, here we go.
I'm just telling you guys, I'm running out and saying something.
Okay, that hit high. 1 o'clock. And knocked the rest clean off. Okay. Call that one a little left. Let's go again. I hit a little low of those other 2.
Really? Which one? The 8208 or something?
Yeah, it's not working yet.
I tried to
Call that one a little high.
8208 load?
No, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It worked better than when I tried.
Now we're off again.
What rifle did you use? What barrel?
That's the first one I made.
Like that?
That one I always use. Or it doesn't seem to like it.
Okay. I was like Sarah magazines and this anything I throw through it, 23 grains of powder. Do you remember how I got that? It's only going up like 23.
All right. That group is about twice as big as the one at 12.5 yards, so it's about right.
Hey, whatever.
Let's go left. About 4 clicks. Well, let's go ahead and split some playing offhand at 12.5 yards. So upper left, well, it's the left-hand target there. There's a card there. There's also one underneath that target. So let's go ahead and shoot the one in the pink circle. Don't know where this point of impact is. I'm going to guess low, so I'll aim at the top part of the card. Now the card fell out. Let's shoot the one on the bottom there. Well, it's right next to the card on the left. That's about the same hole there. Doesn't do us any good because the card's not there. Well, that's right next to the card on the left. That's about the same hole there. Doesn't do us any good because the card's not there. So aim a little more to the right. No, it's still in place. So aim a little more to the right. No, it's still in place. A little more to the right. I'm aiming a little more to the right and it keeps going in the same place. Let's try that again. I must have a hard time with Kentucky. Well, I hit the top part of the card. So the card's out of there. So this is the 5-shot group at 12.5 yards. So it basically went into one hole. And then we moved back to 25 yards and put 5 shots. There's 2 in there. So 5 shots in there, about twice the size of the group at 12.5. So that makes sense. But, the 200 grain Hornady XTP bolt and 22.1 grains of AA number 9 powder shot very well.
Yeah, hard to say, but the gun tells you what it is.
Then we decided to shoot the playing card, and we hit the King of Diamonds there that was in there, but it wasn't really in there very well. So all you do is nick it and it'll come out of there. So we got it, then put more rounds in there. That's a bad shot, and that's typical. I always had those. That's a loser, that's a loser. So in competition, these are losers. Even that one there is a loser. At 12.5 yards, if you're shooting in competition, you got to keep all your shots in there in order to be competitive. All you need is a couple out there and you're a goner. Anyway, so we shot offhand, and then we shot another playing card down here. The card was just sitting in there, so we put 4 rounds in there, and then the 5th round hit the top of the card, and knocked it out. So you see what happened was we nicked the card with the bottom shots, and then the top one took the card out. So that was kind of fun. And then someone in the adjoining lane was nice enough to leave the target there for me to shoot, and there were 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that were already there, so I counted those, and the idea is to keep the rest of them in this rectangle, or square rather. And once again, always have that bad one, let's throw the bad one out of there, so that's a loser right there. But anyway, offhand, that UTG scope works real well, that 2-power shooting offhand, and builds up your strength, because that's a pretty heavy rig by the time you're shooting that many rounds. But we had a good time with that scope. UTG 2 to 7 power handgun scope works real well. By the way, a special hello to Willie and Doug at the range today. It was really nice for you guys to drop over and say hello, and now you know who Fortune Cookie 45 LC is. But anyway, there you go. And we had fun today at the range today, didn't we? Well, so you saw that we gave this a good airing out today with this scope, and I must say, it's very impressive performance. In fact, I really enjoyed this. This is a pretty heavy rig, but it's actually good to shoot a heavy rig because it gives our arms more of a exercise and able to hold lighter guns easier later on. And also, when the eyes don't see iron sights as well anymore, a telescopic sight really extends our shooting pleasure. And I hardly recommend using a handgun scope like this to bring back the ability to precisely place shots. And what fun it was to shoot this offhand and keep them in a 3-inch circle at 12.5 yards. Shooting offhand is very pleasurable. If you have occasion to go to the range to kind of de-stress your life, well, that's a good way to do it, because when you're putting bullets through nice grouping. It takes all the cares of the world away. And because of that, this scope is worth the money. Not that expensive, $110 compared to other scopes. And this is pretty quality piece of technology. So I'm very happy with it. It seems like it's holding up real well and no problems at all. The magnification ring is really smooth. When we first were working with this, it seemed to be stiff, but it just worked right out, and now it's nice and smooth. No backlash. It's just a nice, smooth move. So take care, and I'm probably going to buy another one of these. Bye for now.